Yay, you did it! You finally hit 60! Maybe it took a couple weeks, maybe it took a couple months, maybe it's taken a whole year. But hey, the grind is over. And as you revel in the good feelings of hitting max level, you look around the map and think to yourself, what now? Maybe you've seen people chatting about the expertise score, world tours, Gypsum, Outpost Rush, or mutated expeditions, and you're just so confused. Well, you're not alone. With renewed interest in New World lately, specifically with the news of the Brimstone Sands expansion coming out on October 18th, a lot of people are back and wondering what all this stuff means. Since New World added the 1.5 times XP starting yesterday, I've seen quite a few people hitting 60 and asking just that question. Guys, what's next? What do I do? There's just so much. It's overwhelming. So this video is going to be the first in a series of videos to help you get caught up on all the things you can do after hitting 60. Many will even say this is when the real grind begins, and honestly, they're not wrong. We'll introduce the main ideas and explain them enough to get you started, and in the following days, I'll drop a few more videos diving deeper into each topic. You'll see that I'm not all that much farther along than you are at this point, because I only started playing again seriously about a month ago, and I'm still catching up. So don't be discouraged. If this ADHD old man over here can figure all this out, I think you can do it too. Alright, let's start with the expertise system. The expertise system determines the level of gear you can wear and how high they can drop. Essentially, until you hit 60, you can't wear anything over 500. Once you hit 60, you can wear up to 600 gear score stuff, but it's going to scale down to an average between your item's gear score and your average expertise. And as you raise your expertise up to the 600, your gear is going to scale up to that 600 as well. So basically, you're going to raise your expertise by doing high-end activities for gear drops. You're going to raise each piece until you hit 600. You can get upgrades through elite chest farms, also known as world tours or WTs, boss fights, OPR chests, expeditions, etc. There's a few ways that I didn't list that you can still get upgrades for. Another way to raise your expertise score is through Gypsum. Gypsum is an item that drops from certain activities, and it's daily, meaning you can only do so many of them each day. You'll then turn those into Gypsum orbs, which can then be used to get Gypsum casts, and the casts are gear specific for specific slots. While items dropped from chests and bosses are all RNG based, Gypsum casts let you target which ones you want to raise. Each cast also has a daily limit of 1 per item type. Basically, you can raise each of your gear or weapons once a day. Helmet can only be raised once a day, chest once a day, arms once a day, etc. So once you get the Gypsum, you'll go to a Gypsum kiln. You'll trade the Gypsum for orbs, and then you'll trade the orbs for the specific cast that you want. The kilns are typically found at settlements and outposts in level 60 plus areas. Once you get a certain slot to 600, you can go beyond that to 625 using umbral shards, but that is on a per item basis, not a per slot basis. So let's say you have 2 different helms that you switch between, each one would need to be upgraded to 625 separately. You'll still only get drops of 600 gear score though. Some ways to get Gypsum are through gathering skills such as mining or harvesting, PvP activities, doing corrupted portal runs, boss kills, certain expeditions, using an item called Topaz Attunement Potion, which gives you Topaz Gypsum for killing mobs 55 plus, as well as a couple others that we'll go into more detail in a different video. World Tours, or WTs as you'll see in the chats, are a very common and practical option to combine a few ways of raising your expertise into a single but potentially long activity. World Tours are essentially a Zerg-like mob of, 30 plus people rushing through the high-end 60 plus areas, looting the elite chests and killing bosses. If you use a Topaz potion, you can get the Topaz Gypsum just for getting kills during the World Tour, which is a lot easier with a frenzied mob of players doing damage and providing heals. You can also get Obsidian Gypsum from the boss kills, and if you're going through the Merkguard area, you can potentially get a few Amethyst Gypsum for the corrupted portals as well. They're not always up, and you have to do a lot of damage in order to qualify to get the reward, but that makes it a lot easier since everybody's there. All the while, you're getting expertise upgrades and lots of loot. It's pretty common for me to come away from a world tour with enough stuff to get at least 1,000 gold from the trading post. World tours are almost always going on, and sometimes there are even 2 of them going. They usually follow the same order, but will sometimes be a little bit different. Just keep an eye on chat to see where they're going next. The order I usually see starts in Scorched Mines, then to Merkguard, Eternal Pools, Siren Stand, Genesis of Mal, Imperial Shrine, and then Mangled Heights. A good fast group usually gets the whole world tour done in about 2 hours or less. I mentioned Outpost Rush earlier, or OPR as it's often written in chat, which is a 20 vs 20 PvP activity. If you're into PvP, this is pretty fun. You can earn 2 ruby gypsum a day, as well as gear and Azoth salt. Azoth salt is a PvP currency that you can use to exchange for items or gear, and this gear can also be an expertise upgrade. I'll do a more in-depth video on Outpost Rush another time, but for now, just know it's a pretty fun activity. If you're not good at PvP, there's still base building, which is a way to contribute to the activity without actually fighting. It's not really safe, and you can still die a lot, but you feel like you're contributing, so that's nice. Corrupted portals are still a thing, but they're no longer the only thing to getting upgrades, like they were back in the day. If you do a world tour through Merc, you can get up to 5 amethyst gypsum while you're there, so you'll still need to hit up some of the other portals to get the other 2 that you need. There are usually a few portal groups throughout the day, but they're not as easy to get going as a world tour is. Just keep an eye on the recruiting channel or start one up for yourself. Expeditions are a solid way to get upgrades as well. I won't go into them much right now, but doing the normal expeditions will get you upgrades for sure. When you get to 602 average expertise, you can start doing the mutated expeditions for more chances at higher and better gear, but at a cost of much higher difficulty. Okay, we've talked a lot about getting your expertise score up, but until you do, you can still wear 600 gear score items. The gear score is going to scale down, but as you level, it's going to scale back up. So if you get something decent, it'll grow with you as you level up. Just hit up the trading post, filter by the stats or perks that you're looking for, and see what you like. Spend as little or as much as you can afford, but either way, it's a great option. Alright, I hope this helps you get going in the right direction with what the New World endgame is like. Stay tuned over the next couple of weeks, as I'll put a few more videos out that will help not only with what to do at 60, but also some easy ways to make money before Brimstone Sands drops. If you found this video useful, or if you think this is the kind of content you'd like to see more of, consider clicking either the like or the subscribe button below. Or don't. I'm not your dad.